Alright guys, Hayzink here, back with another Disgaea RPG video, and finally we can reveal the roadmap. Okay, now obviously I've said for a while I'll cut straight to the point. There's little bits of this I don't think people will necessarily like. We do have content throughout the month, that's not the main thing that I think people weren't going to like. But before we go on and talk about it, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel and all that good stuff. Now obviously we have come off the back of a period of time where we've not really had much to do, and as you can see here by looking at the roadmap, we have quite a lot of different things on here. Okay, before we go in and dive in detail, the main thing that I was thinking was probably going to aggravate people was the fact that we do have an overlapping story event. Unfortunately, I don't really understand why we never just used the time that was available where we didn't do anything and knock those two events apart and not have the dead space that we just had, because I know that a lot of people get frustrated about having dead space and then having an overlapping story event. Honestly, I think people would probably dislike it less if we went from one story and then we had an overlapping story event, because there would probably be a reason for it. But better time management would have pushed this apart, and this is the main thing that I think a lot of people are maybe not going to like about this roadmap. But you can let me know in the comments down below if that is something that does annoy you. But let's go over this, let's talk about it, let's see everything that's coming out in the month of July. So at the start of the month, we are going to have a Platinum Summon, which is 4-star red Magus. I am not going, Magnus, I don't know why I said Magus. I'm not going to go into the details of the banner just now, because obviously that'll be another video on itself. Along with that, we have a repeat of last month's Badass banner. Okay, so the Badass banner at the start of the month is going to be a repeat of last month's. So it will just be Awakened Rosalind and Tyrant Valvatores. Not quite sure why, but there we go. After that, a few days later, we're going to have Defender of Earth Summon. So that's going to be Gordon, Jennifer, Thursday are going to be coming back on their banner. Okay, that's not the only returning banner this month. There is another one, but I want to just point out something about these banners before we go to the end of the video. Now, we're also going to have potentially, it does say to be determined, and I've just clarified what this actually means. Hopefully we will have Disgaea Part 5 episode, the second half, 6 and 11. Obviously for us to get that, they need to add the first part in first. So if they can sort out the issues they're having with the first one, that will be added, and this will also be added. So more or less, if this is going to be added, the entire Disgaea 5 event would be added into the game, okay? But at the moment, it is to be determined, so look at that one as a bit of a placeholder. It might not actually happen, okay? We're also going to have the raid event, which is Visitors from Another Realm, which is also known as the Desco Beta, okay? Now again, I have put out videos before talking about raids based on the Japanese version. I'll go into this one in a lot more detail in its own standalone video, okay? But if you want to get a sneak peek just now of what raids are and how raids work, if you look on the channel, I do have videos talking about the raid system and what it is in Disgaea and showing some gameplay from JP raids. So check that out if you want an advanced peek. However, I will be bringing out a video talking about the actual raid that we are going to get in a little bit more detail, okay? So moving on from that, we are going to have a few things happening. We're going to have the banner that a lot of people have been waiting on, which is the Pure Sicily and the Dark Artina banner, okay? Along with that, we're going to have the story event, which is the Magical Cutie Pure Heart. Again, I'll be diving into this in a lot more detail so that you can prep, get your characters ready and stuff like that. No word right now on if the bonus is going to be a flat bonus. Now, I'd like to think it's still going to be a flat bonus. I can't imagine they're going to give us it for half a month, or not half a month, but however long it was they gave it to us, and then just take it away again the following month, because if they do that, that would just mean that reverting back last month was completely pointless. So I'm going to say that common sense says to me it should still have the flat boost, but I don't know. but I'd like to think it will still have the flat boost. Alongside all this, there's another banner that pops up, which is going to be a story event featured summon, which is 4-star Laharo and 4-star Valvatores pickup. So it's probably your best chance to pick up one of those two characters. Midway through this event, there is more banners. We're going to have the new badass banner, which is going to be 4-star badass Kildare. Okay, now his banner should have Awakened Rosalind and it should have Tyrant Valvatores on it. It should have, so I don't really know why you would summon at the start of the month. But I don't know if they've somehow made some sort of a special banner, because you notice on the first one it says Awakened Rosalind and Tyrant Valvatores, whereas on the roadmap it just says 4-star badass Kildare. Now I don't know if that's because this was added in. The roadmap I had was slightly different to this. Everything was exactly the same apart from Kildare. Kildare wasn't planned to come out, but they've obviously decided that they should put him into the month. So there might just simply not be enough space. But if that banner is the way his banner should be, it will have Kildare, it will have Awakened Rosalind, and it will have Tyrant Valvatores. So if you wait a week, you're going to get a better version of the banner at the start of the month. So plan accordingly, that's all I'm going to say. At the same time that comes out, we're also going to have the Nether Beauty summon, which is a mid-boss, and Giro Laharo coming back again. And before we move on, I just want to quickly tell you something about these two banners. So the Defenders of the Earth summon and the Nether Beauty summon, these two are coming back this month. On the 6-month anniversary of this game, all of these characters, so all of Defender of the Earth characters and all the Nether Beauty characters, will be added to the general pool. Okay, so we're getting quite close to that now, so unless you're absolutely desperate for those characters, you might want to wait. Again, it's up to you guys what you do, but you might want to wait. Okay, so moving on from that into the later half of July, we are going to have the Xenolith event coming. Okay, now the Xenolith event is called Story Event Retake Cat Cafe. That's going to come with a free-to-play character. I'll obviously put up a detailed breakdown of what you need to do for that one. It comes with a banner for Xenolith and Barbara. They fall into the same category as the Defender of the Earth summon and the Nether Beauty summon. They will get added to the general pool, so again, you might want to plan accordingly if you want to summon for that or not, but I'll obviously do character breakdowns so that you can see what these characters are and what they do. We're also going to then celebrate our 100th day, which is going to give us robbery summons. It's going to give us Springtime Prinny Feast summon, which I've not seen it yet, but I believe that's the one where you can summon 3-star, 4-star, 5-star Prinnies, okay? We're also going to have a paid 100-day celebration robbery summon, okay? We will have a 100-day celebration login bonus. We'll have special battles and missions, so expect that to be like the Prism Rangers, like the Reflections. You'll probably go in, you'll do one battle, you'll get a certain amount of quartz, and you'll get loads of other stuff. You'll probably be able to do that multiple times per day. You can do that in the 1.5 year anniversary as well, so I fully expect that to be what this actually is. And then the final thing at the end of the month, the end of the month is really stacked, is going to be Bloodus, okay? It's going to be a new character event portal, so a bit like Pure Flawn, Imagine Etna, all that type of stuff. You are going to have the Bloodus event. So, overall, there's content in this month. My main issue is how it's distributed and how it's spread out, okay? The end of the month is extremely stacked. The middle of the month has what I feel personally is an unnecessary overlap. The beginning of the month is still quite dry. So, obviously the 100-day celebration, it's on the 100 days, so you can't really spread any of that stuff about, okay? But if I had my own way, I would have shuttled this one, the Magical Cutie event, I would have brought that along to line up with the start of the raid event, because you guys might think, why would you want a raid at the same time as a story event? Well, running a raid at the same time as a story event is actually ideal, because you use AP during the story event, and that triggers the boss. You fight the boss, you go back, you do some more story event, you'll trigger the boss again, because you need to spend the AP to make the boss appear. So basically having an event running alongside a raid event is actually an ideal scenario, because like I say, you're going to be using AP anyway, you'll be triggering the boss, fight the boss, continue with the event. Now there's one little thing that I did miss off there, and it's the main story arc anecdote. I could load up JP and show you this, but if you've ever seen me playing on JP, when I go to select chapters, there's chapter 1, then there's like chapter 1.1, and then there's chapter 2. The anecdote is the bit in the middle, okay? It's like a very short story that's been added on to the main story, so that's what that's going to be. It's going to be more opportunity for you to grind out quartz. In fact, let's be honest guys, there's going to be a lot of quartz in this month. You've got 2 story events worth of quartz, which is probably going to be about, what, 8k? You've got the logins for the celebrations and stuff like that, that's going to give you quartz. The raid, if you can manage to rank, you'll get quartz from that. There's a large list of where you can rank, so even if you don't rank very highly, you can still get 3, 4, 500 quartz out of it. There's going to be obviously login for the 100-day celebration, that'll pay a decent amount of quartz. I'd expect it to be in line with the reflections. You're going to get the special missions, which is obviously going to give you more quartz as well. So conservatively, I'd probably expect to walk away from this month maybe 10,000 quartz up. I wouldn't be too shocked as well with the 100-day celebration if Bolt Trend maybe do another community Dark Assembly bill and give out some codes to celebrate the 100th day. I'm not saying they will, but it would just make sense to do that type of thing. So this month could be extremely good for you with regards to quartz and stuff like that. Overall, I don't like the spread of it. I'm not angry or anything about the content towards the end of the month. I like it. I mean, it is a bit of an overload of content. I just feel like we didn't really need to go through this period just now of having no content. It was really as simple as these 2 overlaps, just push them apart and make one, and then one straight after it, and that would literally bring that forward and it would fill a week. As it stands just now, we're not really going to have a grindable story event until what looks like about the 13th of July, which has been a bit of a time. It has been a bit of a time, and if you literally just shuttle that forward one, you would have knocked a week off of that, and we would have had a story event coming out in about 4 or 5 days. So you can see there why I don't necessarily think it's the best use of time, and I know that people do not like overlapping story events. We've been through it, people just don't like overlapping story events. But yeah, so it doesn't knock us massively off course for where the game is trying to get to. This roadmap takes us up beyond the 5th of August. We already know, I can tell you now, I've not seen a roadmap. I have not seen a roadmap for next month, so I can speculate. We're obviously going to get Jim Fuka. Right, Jim Fuka is going to be what we get the following month. So, and then the month after that, we should get our first proper full raid. I'll go into full detail about the raids and stuff, like I say, in a separate video. But I think trying to work it out by number of days has thrown me off a little bit, to be honest, because if we're hitting 100 days at the end of the month, we shouldn't really be anywhere near the half-year anniversary. But I feel like the half-year anniversary is due around about September. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see how it all pans out and how it kind of runs its course. But that is the month of July. Sound off in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think any of it's a bit weird, a bit out of place? Is it not what you were expecting? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your plans are for the month. Let me know where your hype level sits at. Let me know all that stuff. As always, dudes, I've been Hayzink, and I'll catch you on the next Disgaea RPG video. Peace.